Hey guys, what's up? I'm Just from MLBBaseballBlogs here with Tim from the Cash Kelly and AC Sports Report. What's up, Tim?
Nothing much. What's going on, man?
Talking about the New York Mets today, man. Okay, so the New York Mets last season, they were 79 and 83, and it was a very bad season for the Mets. Jose Reyes was injured. David Wright had a good season. R.A. Dickey had a great season. So let's talk about their somewhat of a key acquirements. DJ Carrasco, he came over from the Arizona Diamondbacks. I mean, I don't know much about him because he only made like so few appearances for the Diamondbacks. How much do you know about DJ Carrasco?
Not much either. I gotta look at the stats. 2-2 with a 3.88 ERA. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too much of a key acquirement. He's going to be another reliever. But losing a guy like Pedro Feliciano is going to hurt them.
Yeah, and then you got rid of Hisanori Takahashi. You don't got John Maine anymore. Sean Green's gone with the Brewers. I mean, that's just some big guys that these Mets had last season. Their other key acquirement was Ronnie Paulino. He was suspended 50 games last season due to a steroid allegation. Do you think that he is a good acquirement for this Mets team? I mean, they just got rid of Henry Blanco as a
it was actually a positive steroid test. If you look at his stats, he was 259 with 4 home runs, 37 RBIs. He's going to split with Josh Tolley, who's actually had a pretty decent second half of the season last year, and showed some signs that maybe he could be the future catcher. But I would tend to think if there's 7 games, Tolley will play 4, Paulino will play 3, or some deal like that. So it's not going to be Paulino's not going to come in there and win MVP.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, he's not. He still has stuff to improve. I mean, he's been in the league for quite a while. I just think he still has some modest stuff to improve. So, let's go on to their pitching rotation. We got number 1, when he's healthy, we got Johan Santana. Last season he was 11-9 with a 2.98 ERA and 199 innings pitched. Tim, what do you think about Johan going into this season?
Well, I mean, he's going to miss a fair amount of time. I'm hearing that he's not even on schedule. That was a rumor. He denied it. Who knows? But he might not even be ready till like July. So the Mets top of that rotation could really be in trouble if this guy's health isn't figured out pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, he's a huge, valuable pitcher for anything. He had a great career in Minnesota, the New York Mets. I mean, he's having his ups and downs. I think that he's going to come back in late July, too. Their number 2 pitcher is going to have to be, I mean, they don't have John Maine anymore. He went on to go sign with the Rockies. You have to go with Mike Pelfrey. Tim, I don't really know much about this team. What do you think about Mike Pelfrey?
Pelfrey had a fast start last season, and he still had a pretty good second half, but it wasn't nearly as good as his first half. He's a very good pitcher, though. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away. He was 15-9 with a 3.66 ERA and over 200 innings. So he had a nice season last year. Hopefully for the Mets, he can duplicate that.
Yeah, I mean, with his stats, he was 15-9. He had a 200 innings pitched. I mean, he looks pretty cool. I mean, he sounds pretty nice to having a rotation. Their number 3 starter, you got John Neese. I mean, I don't know much about him either. Do you think John Neese is going to have an okay season this year? Because last season, it didn't really look up to expectations with him.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a top prospect. He's still young, though. I think he's like 26 years old. So he should improve from last year when he had like a 4.20 ERA. I don't know how much he's going to improve, though. We just got to wait and see.
Yeah. I just see him a lot pitching because every time I watch MLB Tonight, it's always John Neese is going for the Mets. I mean, John Neese lost 10 games last season with his ERA pretty high. He's still getting used to the bumps in the road for the Mets. I think they're going to be an okay team this year. I mean, they're going to have some falling out parts in their rotation and then in their hitting. But John Neese is going to be a good spot at number 3. Their number 4 pitcher, this guy had a breakout season last year. I mean, with his skills last season, R.A. Dickey. I mean, I was really impressed with him. He was 11-9 with a 2.84 ERA and over 174 innings pitched. Tim, what do you think about R.A. Dickey?
Looking at R.A. Dickey, I'm not not quite sure he's going to be able to duplicate what he did last year with 11-9, 2.84 ERA. He's a knuckleballer, so you're not quite sure what you're going to get out of him. I think he'll still have a good season, but I wouldn't expect him to do as well as he did last season.
Yeah, he has that ball with just like Tim Wakefield is, so I pretty much will compare him to Tim Wakefield. Their final starter, this actually goes to our breakthrough, our number one top prospect in our breakthrough, Dylan G. He's the number 5 starter. The Mets, like I said before, they don't have John Maine anymore, so they have to get younger, and that's what they do with their I think it was like his number 3 or number 2 prospect in the team, Dylan G. Tim, have you ever heard of Dylan G?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you have on him? Like, how well do you think he's going to do this year in his first
season? Last season, he was 2-2 with a 2.18 ERA and 33 innings, so that's pretty good. I'm assuming he's going to start, like you said. So, looking at Dylan G, he should have a pretty decent season this year. I don't know what exactly to expect from him, wins and loss-wise or ERA-wise, just because, you never really seen this guy over a full season. But talent-wise, this guy's supposed to be a legit talent.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the Mets, they still have a lot of key free agents out there in pitching. Jeremy Bonderman, you got Ben Sheets still. You got a new acquirement in Chris Young. I totally left him out, but Chris Young is going to start probably in the bullpen because he's coming back from Tommy John surgery, I think it was. I just still think that he still has Chris Young still has some key stuff he needs to start focusing on before he gets a spot in that pitching rotation. I think just Dylan G has a great spot at being at number 5, or maybe Chris Young could outbeat him in the number 5, but Dylan G is going to be fine at number 5 in my prediction. Alright, so we have Francisco Rodriguez, the closer. I mean, Tim, you know what happened with that incident last season with his girlfriend's father and how he hit him in the face or something like that?
Yeah.
You
don't really know about that whole thing. As long as he doesn't go to jail this season, I think he actually might be having charges pressed. I haven't checked into that lately. He was having a pretty good season last year, though. He was 4-2 with a 2.20 ERA and 25 saves over about 60 innings. When he's on, this guy will blow some saves, but he will rack them up. Obviously, we saw him with the Angels. He had 62 saves the one year. So this guy can rack up the saves. And with a team like the Mets, where the pitching might be a little suspect, he should get a lot of opportunities to close games out this season.
Yeah, I mean, I really much agree with that, but I think he's going to leave that in the past. I mean, that's his girlfriend's husband. I think they probably talked about, I don't know if the charges are true or not, but I don't think that's going to affect going into this season.
He's in a contract year this year, too, so that might make him want to have a much better season this season.
Yeah, then you got set-up bro Manny Acosta. Last season he was 3-2. What do you think about Manny Acosta?
Manny Acosta did 3-2, 2.95 ERA last season. He's a pretty good pitcher. He was, I believe, injured for part of the season last season, but he should be a nice pitcher for them.
Yeah, I mean, the Mets pitching and their bullpens, has some iffies. Do you think that the Mets should get Jeremy Bondman or maybe Ben Sheets to at least improve their pitching rotation?
Yeah, that would be a nice pickup for them. Citi Field should be an attractive place to play, and considering it's about the size of the Grand Canyon, so it's not attractive to hit in, but it's an attractive thing to pitch in, and we should probably be getting to hitting pretty soon here.
Yeah. Alright. So that's pretty much an okay pitching rotation for them. Their hitting-wise, it's pretty much the same as last year. Luis Castillo is gone. He was due $6 million this year. Then the new manager said he didn't really want Luis Castillo anymore. So pretty much second baseman is up for grabs. Tim, who do you think is going to be named the second baseman if you had to say?
Ruben Tejeda will be named the second baseman. Last season he had a pretty good second half, or not a great second half, but he showed that he can run. He showed some things for them last season. The stats don't look impressive, but it was his rookie season, and you got to give him a pass somewhat for that one. And playing in an infield that's really young and really good, you got Jose Reyes at shortstop. He's in a contract year. He should have a big year. You know what you're getting from David Wright. And Ike Davis had a tremendous rookie season last year with 19 home runs and 71 RBIs. He should only improve that number, you would think.
Yeah. I mean, getting to Jason Bay, I know Jason Bay took a big hit against the Dodgers when he was trying to rob a home run. That pretty much messed up his whole season last year with his returning to the Mets because he was drafted by the Mets. I mean, with Jason Bays, he's a key at bat in this. You also have David Wright, a key at bat. Carlos Beltran making his return to the hitting like very late in the season last year. I just think that this team has what it takes to be in first place yet. Phillies are going to be on top. I actually think that the Marlins could be in second or maybe. But Tim, where would you rack up this Mets squad?
I think they'll be in third. I think Phillies first, Braves second, Mets third. I think some questions will be answered for this team. I actually like their outfield in a few ways. Jason Bay, you're not going to get the home run numbers you got from him in Boston or even Pittsburgh just because that stadium is so big. But he's still going to hit you a lot. He should have a lot of RBIs this season. Carlos Beltran's going to shift to right field. And shifting to right field should take some pressure off him. Maybe he can stay healthy and hit this season. I believe he's in a contract year. And Angel Pagan's normally a fourth outfielder, but he is a pretty decent player. I believe he will be in center field, either him or Fernando Martinez.
Yeah. David Wright had a great season last year. Is David Wright is he the keeper for the Mets? I mean, Jose Reyes is in contract year. Do you think Jose Reyes and David Wright are the future of the squad?
I'm not quite sure about Jose Reyes. I think David Wright looks, I just kind of get that impression he's a Met for life type thing, where he's going to spend his career there. I'm not quite sure about Jose Reyes. He's in a contract year, and if the Mets think, we're not going to contend now, and we're not even close to contending, maybe they'll trade him at the trade deadline for some prospects. I mean, he's a tremendous shortstop, but obviously if you could get some really, really good prospects for him, you at least have to listen to the offer. I think it's about 50-50 whether he stays or leaves for next season.
Yeah, I mean, he's been injured like a whole lot over the past couple of years. I mean, last season, he had 11 home runs, 54 RBIs, and had a great batting average at a .282. I just think that he's not going to be the keeper for the squad. David Wright's going to be the future out of the two. So, there you go, guys. That is our little outlook for the 2011 New York Mets squad. Thank you, Tim, for coming on once again. And I really just like to see some more videos with you in the future, bro. Thank you.
Yep, we'll keep them coming.
I'll talk to you guys soon. I'm Joe from MLBBaseballBlogs, and that's Tim from the Cash Kelly and AC Sports Report. Y'all have a great week.